Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase. So today we're going to cover Bitcoin. We'll talk about Ethereum. We'll look at FBTC and when I think, or when and if ETH will outperform Bitcoin. And we'll also look at alt setup, not specific alts, but I'll show you a setup I've been playing into price discovery that's played pretty cleanly. Okay. Before we get into all that, quick shout out to PrimeXBT. They're the ones who sponsor these videos. Check them out. My links are at the bottom. You get a 50% deposit bonus on any Bitcoin that you deposit. Okay, so you can get a lot of extra trades, especially if you're a newcomer. Basically, you get an extra, 50 trades if you deposited one Bitcoin and you risked 0.01 per trade. You would have 1.5, so you would get 150 trades rather than 100. All right. Let's get into the video here. First thing we want to do is we want to zoom out and we want to look at Bitcoin and see, just get a general sense of the market and see what's going on. So what makes this run different than the previous one? That's the first thing we should talk about. Let's look at the previous run of 2017. In my opinion, it looked like right here, right, when we did our breakdown. This right here, I think my other lines might come back because I do want to use them. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so see how we broke down there? Now, I sort of thought that this over here was going to be somewhat of a repeat. Now, not necessarily like bear market repeat, right? But I thought we were going to have some type of a breakdown like this, which we did, but not too deep, right? We didn't come back and we didn't even test 24K again. So we pulled back below, we reclaimed, and we went. And that was the difference between this run and this run, is that an instant reclaim after the deviation and we make a new high. So obviously things are different than the 2017 cycle. I think it's safe to say. As far as how I've been trading in general, I've been holding a lot of spot, and I've been trying to do more with spot because, funding is expensive lately. And not only is funding expensive, but the moves are somewhat unpredictable, at least to me. It seems like a lot of the times you're getting a lot of chop, like we saw in here, right? So you had 10 days of chop, and then we pushed out of the consolidation. Okay, so that's just, I don't want to be sitting in leverage positions or eating funding for 10 days in a row. So I'm trying to do as much as I can with spot right now, unless it's like lower time frame stuff, which honestly I just haven't been super active on. I'm not sure if it's just I think I've talked about this before. I think it's good to sometimes you're really excited about the market. And it's really exciting about trading, and sometimes you're just a little bit laid back and focused on some other things in your life. And right now I'm sort of a little bit more laid back, and I don't feel the need to overtrade. Like my spot is doing very well. My spot buys, all my rebuys and stuff are doing very well. Like when I sold 42, bought 29, all that stuff was public. I posted that stuff all live on Twitter. And all that stuff is still held. I haven't felt the need to sell it yet. So all my spot plays are going very well. I'm very happy with them. I just don't feel the need to overtrade right now, especially on inverse like coin margin perps. I just don't want to give away any coin because I feel like we're just so strong. It's tough to risk Bitcoin in this market. That's for sure. Okay, so what scenarios do we have here? Obviously, like in a dire scenario. And I have some levels marked out here, and we'll cover what each of them mean. In a dire scenario where we get some type of a huge dump, we have resistance, 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 plow through. This is the area people would look to get back in, somewhere around 40,000. Okay, anywhere between could get front run. It could be 42,000, anywhere down to 39,000. Somewhere in there is probably the big buy. And if this was to flip, pretend this was to flip back into resistance, then that would probably be a sign to get out once that low is taken out right there. Not get out permanently, right, but to get out of a long position from here. Now, with that said, it seems very unlikely that we're going back down there anytime soon. When I talk about a level like this, I'm probably thinking maybe months, right? Maybe a month and a half from now or something, maybe we retest this level, maybe 2 months, maybe we push towards, 70, 80K or something, and you get some type of a huge blow off top and a big panic sell. But even then, you probably bounce off this consolidation in here somewhere. So yeah, this is really like dire situation. I feel like it's obviously a buy, because this is where we plowed right through with the Elon candle. Okay, Elon candle, consolidation. And we can zoom in a little bit here, check out this price action. Key level here, right? We come up, resistance, resistance. We could see all the wicks, how it plays right into it. Perfect taps, body closes below on all the candles. High volume move right here. And what did it reject off of? It rejected off this level. Okay, we come up, we get rejected here, sort of a swing failure. We reclaim this level. What happens when we reclaim this level? We immediately come down, retest it on this candle, and we can see, boom, we bounce right off there. Impulse move. So right around here, 49,000. Very important level in my opinion. As far as shorter term stuff, we can look here. I think with Bitcoin, you're able on these lower time frames, like I said, they can be a bit choppy, but support is being respected, right? So we can see we come up, we make a new high here, we build our support right here. Okay, see our little support candle in here, the down move before we move higher. Okay, support, we run that low real quick, we never run it again. That's another thing why I'm sort of not super active right now, is because it's not very friendly to how I trade. I usually like to get sweeps before the big moves, and we're not always getting sweeps. You just basically have to blind buy support. Okay, so we can see support, we come up, we test support again, we test support again, we test support again. 1, 2, 3, only 3 tries. On the 4th try, levels usually break, so we never had a 4th try. But as you can see, sort of got to blindly just buy support here. Right here, you had a nice SR flip, but I mean, how many times did you get chopped up before you got into this move, right? Because you had a little bit of an SR flip here, right? It was a fake out though. Okay, you had a fake out. You had another fake out here. You had the swing failure pattern right here into like 50, whatever it was, like 51,000. Came back down, so another fake out. And then you finally on like the 4th try is when you went 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so once again, that whole 4th touch theory sort of works again here, if you apply it in a different scenario. So we flip the level, we come up, support, 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 we rally off the level. Now once again, just like this, now we have this. So this could very well do something like this, and then it might go higher. It's just a matter if you're willing to risk to continue to buy these supports. And if you are, that's perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. I avoided trading mostly in here because I was calling this chop the whole entire week. I was able to actually get into ETH, literally like it was somewhere like right around here when the chop ended. I had posted this live too. Although I didn't post the trade live, right? I was just talking about how I was bullish ETH and how I thought it was going towards like 3K-ish or so eventually. That was right in here, right before the move broke. So avoided all this chop. Didn't focus on this as much because, like I said, I'm just not a huge fan of these multiple taps of support, even though they seem to hold no matter what. We might get that same scenario again here. You can watch out for the multiple taps of support. You do get some clean stuff, right? If you keep watching for the multiple taps of support and then you see this sort of SR flip here, obviously that was pretty clean. I don't know, maybe I was sleeping during the time or something. Yeah, this was 9 a.m. around my time, so yes, I was sleeping at that time, so missed that. And then, yeah, so watch this for supports. All right, let's move over to ETH, right? Take a sip of water here. All right, so Ethereum. If we zoom out on Ethereum first, we could see this huge consolidation, sort of an ascending triangle. Previous all-time high here, right? Once again, let's show the example. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, boom. 4th touch, we go, okay? We come up, once again, we do sort of like the same thing here, right? We're sort of consolidating, then we break. We're consolidating, then we break. A lot of chop in here. Once again, I avoided this chop. I got in at the very end, pretty good, with some spot buys. And what am I watching from here? Obviously, well, we had this consolidation. We had the run of the low right here. I would expect that this area should hold, basically no matter what. If this flips back to resistance, maybe a retest of previous all-time high. I'm not expecting that whatsoever at the moment, but I'll let price action show me the way, right? Now, what we're looking at here is, just let me make these lines smaller so I could talk about it without it clogging my vision. Okay. So we come up, initial resistance, 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 push through. Now we have all this sort of chop and consolidation in here. And oftentimes these love to do, this is like one of my setups that plays out all the time lately. Just let me delete this. So you have this trend line, and usually you come down and you run all the liquidity of the trend line, okay? So what I'm expecting most likely is that we come down, we run into here, okay? Now, and you often don't get, like, this is the level that you would usually bid right here, like this resistance, this SR flip basically, right? So SR flip into there, into there. But the problem is you often don't get that full tap lately. You'll usually just get like the smallest little wick and it'll pop out. So you got to use your own judgment here of how much, how quote unquote FOMO-y you want to be. I'm personally probably just going to throw some bids like right in here. I think that's the move. I don't think I can like bid the whole zone. It's probably too much. You probably just play this low, a little bit below this low. It's literally going to be one wick, and then it's going to bounce. Or there's also the other situation where you can wait and let it get ran, right? You just see the liquidation wick, right? Because you get all liquidations from the people who get liquidated below here. You see the liquidation wick, you see it getting bought up, and you get in. And like, so say it liquidates, or you get the liquidation wick, right? Comes back up, price is like right around here, this level. You can buy and just put your stop below there, and it really shouldn't get hit, because why? Unless it's like weakness, it shouldn't be back below the liquidation wick. And that's something too that you can keep in mind with this is all these, runs lately, if you get a run, play the same way. They run it quick and they move. Okay, so that's a good where you can see like how the general market is going. If we don't get like a big buyback or something and this flips, that's a bit of a change in momentum for the entire market. Okay, that's something to watch for. Those are my favorite type of trades because you're either going to profit or you're going to learn that a situation or the overall market has changed a bit, that the way the market is interacting and all the participants. So something to keep in mind there. You're either going to profit or you're going to learn about how the general market is trending at the moment, I think. Okay. And those are my favorite type of trades. All right, let's move towards FBTC. FBTC, this is very simple, right? We've had this range marked out for a long time. We can see the range low, we can see the range high, consolidation, deviation, consolidation inside, breaks up, tags this level here. We could see it on the, I think it was the 3-day or the 1D. Yep, right there. Okay, so caused the impulse move down was this resistance level right here. Impulse move down, consolidation, deviation, consolidation, range. We get back above, sort of a deviation here for now. What I would expect is we're probably going to reclaim somewhere off of here, right? We have resistance, 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 tap this, come back up, reclaim, go towards 0.056 if ETH is going to outperform. And also what we're looking for outperform is simply a reclaim of this area right here, okay? We want to see this reclaim. We want to see us push into here, get rejected, come back up, reclaim, retest, and we're off to the races. Once this is under that, right, and we move and we bounce off that, we should be off to the races to either retest this, which puts ETH at probably, I'd say, unless BTC is dumping, this puts ETH at least like 2,300 or so. And if we're pushing towards here, this is where we're going to see like, 3,000 ETH, somewhere around there. Okay, so that's FBTC. And when I'm looking for FBTC to outperform, it's simply getting back above here. And that would typically mean that ETH is going to outperform BTC. Okay, so now let's take a look at alts. I'm going to show you guys a simple alt setup I've been playing. Haven't caught every one of them, right? Because I feel like so many alts are popping and different days, different things are moving. But there's something I've been watching that's been pretty easy, and it's just these consolidation alts, right? You have huge consolidation. You have you have basically like an all-time high and then a stop run, right? And you get a resistance again here. All you got to do is look for on these alts is just an alt that breaks above its previous resistance level, like right here. it flips it and it goes. It's really that simple. You play it like this. You just wait for it to flip it. You get long. You put your stop below whatever consolidation led to the break, right? So let's say this comes back up. It rejects again. It consolidates right in here. It breaks through. So you take your long position. You put your stop below the consolidation that led to the breakout above all-time highs or previous all-time highs. And, you grab 3, 4, 5 R off of it as they go to price discovery. It's really that simple. I've caught a few alts like that now. And like I said, not all of them, right? Especially because I don't want to be overexposed all at one time. If the market happens to be pulling back, I don't want to be overexposed. So typically I'm only, risking 2R on alts at a time or 3R at a time, something like that. Any more than total, right? So if I'm in a BTC, I'm in an ETH trade, I'm in ALTS trade, I don't want to risk more than, 3 risk reward on a daily basis. I don't want to take a 3R loss. So if I did take a 3R loss, it probably means that everything pulled back altogether. But I'm not going to be long on BTC, a BTC setup, an ETH setup, and 4 or 5 different altcoins. And if I get stopped out, I lose, 6 risk on the day, right? So for those of you who don't understand it, it's just risk reward, right? Say I'm risking $100 and I'm aiming to make 300, 3-to-1 risk reward. My average risk is $100. So I don't want to be losing, 300 in a day or 600 in a day. I just want to be risking my 100, and maybe I could risk that 2 or 3 times. Or if there's a bunch of alts I like, I can split that risk up. I can risk 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm playing the alts right now. I'm looking for these flips because we're not really getting any major support retests to the downside. Everything is just super bullish, it seems. So I'm playing these SR flips on the highs. FBTC, we're looking for it to reclaim this level to outperform. ETH, we're looking at to run the liquidity of this trend line, get long. Okay, that's my move for ETH right here. Probably get long in here. If it flips that, then obviously we're getting some type of a change in market dynamics. That's the word I've been looking for the whole entire stream or video is dynamics. Yeah, market dynamics. Okay, and BTC, as I said, you could be playing these support levels, and that's really how I'd be playing everything. And we know where our dire situation is, where we're looking to buy. Yeah, I think that about covers everything. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. If you have any questions, you can always leave questions below. If they're really in depth, I'll get into them in the next video. Otherwise, I can try to answer below. Shout out to PrimeXBT for sponsoring these videos, and have a great day, everybody.